here. Also, this should default. This should default to the selected one. What's the default? Default value? Can you inspect/move values from the GUI yet? No. That would be super... It wouldn't take that much work. Actually, it probably will. Who am I kidding? But all of the concepts are there, since you can already... there's already sliders. So I could hook these sliders into... like controlling a color or something like that. Why are they only... Oh, yeah. And there's horizontal ones too. If I could hook these into a value like color, then that'd be really useful. For now, let me make sure this default value works. And that is not what I expected it to be. Oh, this has to be scene names at 0. Great, so defaults to mobject test. Then I can switch to mobject test 2 if I want, and so on. So that's perfect. Here this says scenes. Let me update this to say selected scene. Do I want just the first thing to be capitalized? Then I'll have to update that here. Also, this window is too small. Now I'm going to have to deal with whether I want these letters capitalized or not. I think that's okay. Oh, this is only the main window. There must be a way to control how the sides of this window in here. I think the main window is the window like on my desktop. I think. Let me see if... Whoops. Yeah, if I made this like 1500. I don't know if that'll actually make it bigger. Yeah, it didn't. This window's still too small, so... What I'll do is look at the documentation again. Add about window. What is an about window? Oh, I think it's this. We should have our own about window for Manim. Anyway. When you do with a PyGUI.simple.window, you don't necessarily want to use the window. Add a window. Because the simple module does a lot of stuff for you, and it hides away like the width and the height attributes. So I'm going to look at simple. So here's... Actually, that's not so bad. They give you the width and the height. So you can just pass that. Maybe I do want to use this. Group, menu. Okay, so let me just put to use this. Group, menu. Okay, so let me just put... Take out the hello world. And then I'll have width and height be like 800, 800. Great, that's really cool. Well, that's actually 800 is maybe too wide. Or too tall. Also, why is that? Can it just be a 0, 0 or something? Starts at 200, 200. Let's make XPOS 100 like this. Uh-oh. Yeah. Great. Now I can see the bottom of it. I can swap between these really easy. Okay, that's a ton of progress, so I'm going to commit that. So scene selection, GUI, yeah. Okay, so as for editing attributes from the GUI, the thing about that is it would require, it'd have to be some sort of code you can write here where you'd want to do like, it'd be something like config at GUI. So like add slider or something like that. And we want to do like 0 to 100 with a callback. You'd want to do something like this, right? And then if you wanted to do that, then you do def callback. And you do like a closure around your mobject. Attributes. And then I'd want to do something like this. Like equals. It'll be something like this. Is what you'd want. Now, how would that work as an implementation? Well, man, it looks really dark in here and that. Oh, I guess it doesn't look that dark. Oh, whoops. Never mind that. Okay, I don't know if this is the correct way to do it. Updating the config live seems really weird. Like you would get to this point in interactive embed. You'd call update PyGUI. That makes sense. That'd bring you to here. This will update scenes. Scene selections. And here I'd want to do like the user updates. But like, how would you pass that? Maybe you just Maybe the thing you would edit is the scene. So you do like scene, like self dot, add the slider or whatever. You know, the ultimate in control, which I guess, man, you know, the ultimate in control, which I guess Manim does offer the user a lot of control usually, would be to just reach into the scene and start editing things. You do like self.gui.add slider, which I think is reasonable. But the way you would do that... Okay, this is what you would have to do. Or this is what you could do. Oh, I actually don't know how easy this would be. You'd want to select the existing window and then do like with that window. You have to somehow select or get a reference to the PyGUI. What is the name of this? Why do I keep getting this wrong? PyGUI. The PyGUI window. And then you do like with that window as W or whatever. Or just with that window. And then you would edit stuff. That would be the most control you could hope to have. Right? But then if you rerun, this would be updated again, which probably isn't what you want. So how would you... And it could be the case that when you switch between classes, you want to see different things. So you'd have to store the configurations for the panel, store the configurations for the GUI widgets for that specific scene to something about the scene. So you'd want to do like widgets equals like this list. And then when you rerun, if this is keyed by the labels, then it won't be recreated or whatever. So what I would do is maybe something like this, self.widgets dot. Part of the problem is you can't get a reference to these widgets, you just configure it through PyGUI.core. I guess it wouldn't be too bad though. You could just, for example, for this combo, you could do something like label or something. Then you could just have this dictionary. For example, selected scene. And then you could just have this dictionary like this. And if this thing would stop yelling at me, yeah, so like that. So maybe this is all you'd have to do. Then when you reach scene and it goes to update PyGUI, you just want to call configure item and use the labels and the KWRs from scene.gui. Is that what I called it? Scene.widgets. So step one, how do you create a slider in the first place? Oh, that's weird. This is one widget, which like updates multiple widgets. That's interesting. Not what I was going for though. Okay, so there's slider floats, I think. Slider float 3. Now, maybe I should bookmark this. Now, maybe I should bookmark this. Add slider float. Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is go here, and I'm just gonna say core add slider float. I'll just say like slider. Default 0. I think the rest of this is fine. So I should maybe have a callback. Call back. I'm just gonna do this. So this should add a slider there. And it does, great. Oh, cool, it's doing the callback. Now what I'd want to do... Oh, you know, I'd have to distinguish between when I want to do configure item and when I want to do add item. Because if I just have self.widgets at selected scene equals this, then the first time, well, I guess the first time I would go into the first case of this if, and I would run the PyGUI command for the first time. And it's only after that that I'd want to update. I think that makes sense. Well, not quite. It could be the case that I do some stuff like this, add to the widgets here, then I do interactive embed here, then I add to the widgets again here. And if I do this, then at the time that the scene pauses at this interactive embed, it doesn't know about the existence of this one. I think that's okay. So then the first time I would add this one, and then if I do interactive embed again down here, I would update this one and add this one. So I do have to keep track of which ones are already added to the GUI. But I do think that's doable. Self.widgets. Why is this thing so mad at me? Oh, this is a list. So I just call this slider. I have to have the type. Okay, so I have to have the slider. I have to have the type, which is... Oh, I can't even get the type. I guess I'll just have to call it slider float. then I'll have to do some hackery to somehow turn this string into a function call. But the only thing I need here is the callback, which has the sender and data. And let me just do that. I'll just call it callback. And then I'll import dear PyGUI here. I'll just call it callback. And then I'll import dear PyGUI here. Why is it saying this can't be resolved? Whatever, I don't care. So now, let me just see if I probably broke something by now. I guess it's still working. When I go to the scene, I think I'll want to do this GUI thread.start. And then I want to update PyGUI no matter what. Right? And when I update PyGUI, I'll first update the scene selections. I'll pass the self here. Self.widgets, which doesn't always exist, so this will crash. Let's put this here. Now scenes always have a widget sticked. Update that with slider. So this should work now, I think. And update whatever, this is going to take that widgets dict. I'll just call it widgets. And then it's going to have to add that slider, whatever, here. So I'll say dear, okay. Or eval in widgets.items. I'll just print the key in the val. So when I stop here, the widget stick should have one entry. And since update PyGUI is called every time that PyGUI is spawned, it should none. I think it didn't work. Did it? Did I pass self.widgets? Yeah, it's passing self.widgets here. So only from object test 2. Okay, let me just put this in object test 1. Okay, so now I do have the type slider float. So let me not do this here. And what I'll do is I'll call getAtcher. Let's hope this works. GetAtcher of dearpygui.core f-string. Oh, my keyboard disconnected. Did anything else disconnect? Alright, it's back. But I have to redo my shortcuts. Okay. Add underscore. And then I think I want val, wait. Key. No. Type. Val at type. Don't know if that's valid. Guess it's not. Can I do single quotes? I think it likes that more. So this is the function you do. Dear PyGUI.core dot add underscore slider float. Okay. So we call this. Okay. So we call this with the key, and then callback val at callback. The API is a work in progress, okay? We're gonna get there. Okay, now I'm gonna see if this adds a slider. And it doesn't. Okay. I think there's been plenty of work in this. This is, and I can tell this is pretty close. But now it's past my 2-hour allotment, usual allotment. So I'm gonna rate someone. And we'll go from there. Actually, let me just bring this back. Thanks for watching, guys. Made a ton of progress, which is great. Okay, let's raid someone who speaks English and hasn't been going for a long time. Okay, this guy hasn't been going for a long time. So I will raid Manly Manta. Does this count as science and technology, though? Whatever. Great. Okay, cool. We'll say hi and stuff. Later, guys.
Oh my gosh, this is